Well, Bill, what's up? Mike Bird, how you guys doing tonight? Good to see you, man. Welcome to Hanger 51. Good old Hanger 51. JCB, what's up? Ethan, all right. Good to see you, man. How you doing? Do you talk to Flaps anymore, Ethan? What happened to him? Bloody salad again? Nope, not salad at all. Had some marinated chicken I made, some asparagus, and some red potatoes. Just finished. No, Wild Bill, haven't flown the new bird yet. It's the new bird's requiring. I'm assuming you're talking about the jet, not the which I haven't flown either of them, but you're probably talking about the jet, and the jet just needs not hard work, but a lot of work. I have to relocate a bunch of stuff. Same problem that the ESC comes mounted on a wooden board, but the board's not mounted in the airplane anywhere. I guess they figure you'll figure it out. So, and everybody's put it in a different place. You know, Rich Baker put it one place, and Chris put it in a different place, and I'm going to put it in a different place in both of them. So that has to be mounted. The piece of wood has to be mounted. The board's strapped to the wood. The ESC is strapped to the wood, but it's not. The wood's not mounted anywhere. So I know where I'm going to mount mine now. I still have to move the brake controller, the flight controller. Not a flight controller, but a blue box, for lack of a better word, and the back have to be mounted off the board. I have to remove the board that they're mounted to and move them to the probably one side of the plane or the other. I haven't decided where yet. It's not hard work. It's not even a lot of work. It's just, you know, time consuming to decide where exactly I want to put the stuff. You know, you're going to kind of test fit it and get it all. And I'm still working on that. I drilled the big holes in the front to bring the wires from the front nose cone assembly that bolts to the fuselage. So that I have my pass-through made for that. Right, sir, what's up? So yeah, it's just is he working, Ethan? Does he have a job? What's he doing? That's cool. You got a car. That's cool. You can tell me a place to put it. Victor, just got home from the field. Good for you, buddy. That's good to hear. Somebody got to fly. What in the world did I do to the prop? Yeah, no, that's where the prop comes. It is a wild-looking prop, yeah. But that's the way it comes. It's a one-piece prop. You don't put it together. But that's the way it apparently looks on a real... I'm sure the real prop looks just like that. Because they wouldn't have made it that way. You know, if there's anything I have to say good, you about LX models, is they're very, very scale-oriented. You know, if they do something on an airplane, it's because the real one has it. They don't even care if it makes it fly good or not. They're not going to sacrifice scale for better flying like some of the other companies will. Their shit's scaled to the T. So, oh, Ethan, I'm sorry to hear that, but you're probably right. You know, he's probably now at peace. Yeah, that's another one of those horrible diseases. Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, dementia, just are really horrible things to go through life with. So I'm sorry to hear that, but I understand you're right. He's probably at peace. So oh, Victor was flying a UMX Timber X. That's unusual. If I only ever see Victor flying jets. uh, oh, the tips are chrome? No, the tips are yellow, but they're probably, because of my green screen, they're probably looking transparent. Because yellow doesn't seem to correlate well with my green screen. I don't know why. Is this coming? Yeah, this is yellow. So that works. But a lot of my yellows turn to transparent, like green would. So yeah, it's kind of weird. I haven't figured that out yet. Craig Beavan, what's up? How you doing, man? Yeah, so the tips are yellow. You know, in real life, I don't know what they're really looking like on. Let me see if I can get a bigger picture of what you guys are seeing. Hang on a minute. Let me do this real quick. Oh yeah, the tips look crappy on here. they look kind of chrome. They're actually pretty yellow. They're almost as yellow as this. Almost. And now I see even my orange shirt is trying to disappear on this shoulder over here. Yeah, it doesn't correlate green and yellow and orange very well for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, the prop tips are actually a very bright yellow. And maybe if I get them more in the light, they'll... Yeah, see, they're really kind of transparent. What you're seeing right now is the rest of the bookcase behind me is in the tip of the propeller. That's what you're looking at. You're looking at whatever part of the bookcase would be right there is what's coming up on the propeller tip. So that's kind of funny. And if you get it right, you're not gonna be able to tell this if you're looking at this on a phone. But yeah. So that's what's going on with the tips. I don't know why it does that. You know, and I really like the green screen format that this does. If you've got this old version of OBS, because you actually can pick, when you're setting up, you can pick anything on the screen in the photo and determine that that's the background color you want. So you can fine tune this. Like I could pick orange right now. I could go into the settings and pick orange as the background by clicking on my shirt. And then everything that's orange would be invisible. And then we'd probably be able to get some greens. I don't know. But yeah, it's kind of cool. I'm very happy with the OBS, the old OBS. This is why I don't update things, guys. They took this feature away in the new OBS. They removed the chroma key so that you couldn't do a green screen anymore. You can do a fake green screen, but that don't work very well. All right, hang on a second. Let me get back. I missed a couple of things here. So Oh, you got to take off, Shadow? All right, buddy. We'll see you later. Looks like I took a magic marker to him. Yeah, no. That's just the way the green screen's doing it. I didn't do anything to the all I did to the props is I broke the edges here with sandpaper to take the sharpness off of it, and then I was getting ready to take it in the house and balance it, and I haven't gotten there. I didn't balance it yet. Oh, cool. You're going to get to go fly in a sailplane. That's awesome, man. That'll be fun. How long's your flight going to be? You get an hour, or what do they, or as long as you can keep it in a thermal? How does that work? Craig, did he get it flying all right? The B-58. How did it do? We're all been wondering, you know, because it seems like he's been having some trouble with it. So, was he competing with the 58, or did he use something else to compete with and bring the 58 off just to show it off? Don't get a jumper radio. Get a Radio Master. It's basically the same radio, but Radio Master is supplying parts and everything if you break a switch or whatever. And I don't believe jumper's doing anything. If I'm wrong, guys, let me know. But from what I understand, jumper's not really supporting their crap at all. So get a Radio Master. And like this is my Radio Master, and mine came with OpenTX. If you buy a newer one, it's probably going to come with Edge, which is just a different version of OpenTX. I haven't played with it yet. Actually, I'm trying to buy a used radio right now, either with Edge on it or so I can put Edge on it, so that I can speak intelligently about Edge, because right now I don't know a thing about Edge. I've only touched one radio that had it, and the only thing I did with the radio was touch the touch screen to play with it to see if I even liked it, and I really didn't. So there's no reason for me to switch to Edge just to get the touch screen working. I don't miss the touch screen at all. It's not necessary. I don't think it's even usable, really. I mean, you can do everything you can do on the touchscreen with the buttons, and I'm a button guy. Oh, so as long as you can stay up, well, that could be a good day. If you got some thermals out there, you could be up there for most of the day. That'll be awesome, man. Good for you. Oh yeah, that's right. I guess he took the Sky Raider to compete with. Yeah, hat's my is it or hate's my favorite? Whatever, right? So. Oh, are you talking about the Timber X? Yeah, I like my Timber X. I converted my regular Timber, the old before the turbo Timber. I took my regular Timber and converted it to a Timber X. I bought a Night Timber X because I bought they had all the parts like 70% off. So I bought a light fuselage, a light horizontal, The vertical and well, I think the vertical is part of the fuselage. And the fuselage, the wings, and the horizontal, all the light night versions, they all have lights in it. And then took all my servos out of my standard timber and put them into the Timber X. And very happy. I love the way that thing flies. Much more fun than the other one. It'll actually do a roll with a decent roll rate. And it does everything super well. I'm very happy with that plane. Just another train. What's up, Paul? Hey, Jerry, long time no see. So Jerry and I were in our Zoom last night till 4 o'clock this morning. It was just me and Jerry till 4. We were both working on airplanes. I was finishing this one up. He was working on his Mustang. So that was fun. We had a good time. This is the, I haven't even talked about it yet because everybody's seen it already, but it's finished now. And I'm going to demonstrate the gear and the wings here. But this is the LX model Wildcat. 1200 millimeter, 3S. I've not flown it yet. I just finished it last night. I got the pilot glued in. So normally the plane comes with the canopy and the pilot not glued in, and you have to do that. Well, mine came, the pilot was glued in, but he came unglued, and the canopy's glued on. And they did such a perfect job gluing the canopy, I didn't want to unglue it, so I had to do it. There's access to the cockpit from inside the wing cavity. You have to pull this whole wing assembly off, which is 2 pieces, and I'll demonstrate that in a second. And I got in there and I got glue on him and then put him back where he belongs last night. Jerry was keeping me company while I was doing it, and I got him in there, and he looks great. He's sitting right where he needs to be, and yeah, so he's in there now. He's not going to fall back out, I don't think. He should be good. So hi Ken Byrne, yeah. So this is the LX model Wildcat. It has scale landing gear and scale wings. Now, I don't know if any of you guys know, on the Corsair, for instance, the wings are powered, electrical, and they fold up, this way. And they're electric. The guy does it from the cockpit. He hits a button, they unlock, and then they fold up. This plane, the pilot can unlock them, but they're mechanical fold up. The crew on the carrier deck literally grab the wing and slide it down into position in the down position, and then the pilot relocks it, or they push it back into the fold position and the pilot locks it. And that's exactly how this works. So, and I'm going to demonstrate that right now. So the wing is actually 2 pieces. This short piece right here, that's right by the leading edge right here against the fuselage, right out to here, right here. This is where the wing is 2 pieces, and it folds right there. Well, since that one's close to the camera, I'll fold this one. So there's a manual lever underneath. You have to unscrew to release the lock, and then you slide it out of the outer wing, which is not easy to do one-handed. Let me try to get that there. Let me see if we can get this out of here. let's pick it up and get it. Whoops. Normally you glue these in. I'm not going to glue them in. I'm going to pin them in because I want to be able to take them back out in the event that I have to replace a wing. I want to be able to do it easily. And if I pin them in with a barbecue skewer instead of gluing them in, they'll be removable. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so I unlocked it. So here's what happens now, which is super cool. The scale of this airplane is so cool. All right, so you see the wing drooping already? So this is what the guys do on the deck, the carrier deck. It's in that position, the pilot unlocks it, and then they rotate it back like this. And it does exactly this. If you ever watch it, it'll float around just like this. The real one does the same thing. It floats in this area here. And then they pull it all the way back to here. And they relock it, and that's how the wings fold on a Wildcat, and it's absolutely accurate. That's exactly how it works. Yeah, Jerry and I talked about a lot of stuff last night. It was fun. We had a good time. So I'll put it back out and lock it again. And it's a little, listen, it's not, I don't think it could have been done any better, honestly. I think the way they did it is about the best you could do to get that scale folding wing. I don't think nobody else has even done it, and I don't think there's a way of doing it any better. It works. It's just a little tedious, not bad. But you slide the pin back in, get the wing aligned. There's just a little bit of movement in it, not much. And then you tighten up the screw again, and that locks it in place. Okay, so so the wing's back locked now, ready to fly. So that's pretty cool. And then this, I don't know what I'm going to do with this yet. It's kind of, it works, but it's a little goofy. The battery actually goes in this vertically. And they're supposed to just loosen this and pop the thing off, but I can't get it to come off with the nut in there. So I have to unscrew it all the way out to get into the battery compartment. Okay, so and now a 3-cell battery goes in here just like this. And you push it down in there and you plug it in. All right, so let me turn this on and I'll show you the gear. Because the gear's pretty much just as cool. Thanks, Jerry. Yeah, I think the pilot came out good. He looks perfect. I think he's just in the right spot. That was quite an ordeal. I used the wrong glue the first time. I had to do it over. Yeah, it was, he got in there crooked. I couldn't get him straightened back around. He was sitting in there sideways. It was a pain in the butt. Okay, so we've got our ailerons, elevator, rudder, no flaps. The model didn't come with flaps. I believe the real Wildcat has flaps. Maybe not. I assume it might. But the real cool thing is the landing gear. So if you look at the mechanism here of this landing gear and all that, it's quite a bunch of structure there. There's these, from the side there you can see that strut going up into the fuselage, up in the wheel well there and everything, and this is how it works. Oops. Got my finger caught in it. Hang on. I thought I was clear of that. How the hell did that happen? Okay. And you can't slow it down because it's not servo operated. It's just electric motors. Okay, so the motors, run until they hit the end play, and then the motor driver, the sequencer, for lack of a better word, detects the load of it stop and then shuts itself off. So, and you can kind of catch that a little bit on the upswing. If you look, it's up in here tight, and then all of a sudden it dropped back out. You see that little, so that's when it released the load on it, and then you can manually just pull it down. It's because it's an electric motor, it'll just roll up and down. But yeah, it locks down, and then it goes back up. So it's quite a contraption, I got to tell you. But it works. It's scale as hell. I mean, that's exactly what it looks like. So pretty cool. So other than balancing the prop, this is ready to fly. And this one's all done, ready to fly. I just have to balance the prop. And but yeah, pretty excited. It's a cool airplane. And can you imagine how easy it'll be to put this in a car? You fold the wings back and put the gear up. I mean, this isn't going to take up any room at all in a car. I think this would fit in the passenger seat easily, in your car. If even a Prius. Micah, if you're here, I'm glad you're here. I know if you're here, you're lurking, and that's fine. I'm glad you're here. And I'm going to tease you a little bit about your Prius. So this is the perfect airplane for a Prius, because you could get this in one of those easily with the way this gear folds up. So very cool, very cool, very cool airplane. I wanted this plane for a long time, and I kept putting it off, and then they discontinue it, which is unusual. Actually, LX didn't discontinue making it. Banana Hobbies discontinued carrying it. So and that was a little unusual. Lyndon Stewart, what's up? Good to see you, buddy. Yes, and what Jerry's saying, Ethan, is if you get the new transmitter, the Radio Master with the Edge software, this will do AS3X, Spectrum as it is. But if you want to use the forward programming, you have to get the Edge software. So, and it's a free you don't have to get the radio with it already in it. It's a free upgrade. You can just download it. It's free software, so if you get one with OpenTX and you want the Edge so you could do the forward programming, it's just a simple download. You just download it and install it. Pretty simple. So, but this radio will fly like 70 different protocols. It'll do one of the old one of the old Futaba protocols, I believe. I'm pretty sure it'll do Tactic also. I've been trying to figure out which one of the protocols it is. And now that I'm thinking about it, it's probably the old Futaba protocol. Is probably the same thing as Tactic. I think that's where Tactic came from, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, very happy with the radio. Very happy with this airplane. The jet that's on the, right here on my TV. Oh, I see if you look at the top, you can see my clothespins holding my green screen up. I gotta adjust the camera. Yeah, the jet, I've got that jet too. I'm working on that. I've been working on that in the house because it's too hot out here. Hey, Ronnie, what's up? Good to see you, man. So 28 in the room, 10 likes. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah, Jerry's right. It took longer to find the glue. And then I used the wrong glue the first time. I wanted to use 30-minute epoxy, so I had time to really play with them, getting them in the right place. And I accidentally used the 5-minute epoxy. And that's when he got in there sideways, and I couldn't get him turned around. So the glue dried up before I got him in place. So I had to get him back down with his butt hanging out the hole in the bottom, and then get the 30-minute epoxy and redo it, and then put it back in, and yeah. So that was comical as hell, but we got it. So I'm pretty sure he's stuck in there. I don't think he's coming out. That should have done a great job of gluing him in. I got quite a bit of epoxy on his butt, and then it shoved him in there. So with him sitting there, the glue should have ran off his butt onto the floor of the cockpit and got him in there secure pretty good, I would assume. I haven't shook the plane around or anything to see if he's going to fall out, but I'm pretty sure he's in there. He might break loose in a crash, but hopefully we never find that out. So, do any of you guys have the old Park Zone Wildcat? I have one of those too. It's a lot smaller than this, even though this is 1200, and I think the old Park Zone was 1100. It's a lot smaller, especially the girth of the fuselage is a lot smaller. So, it's interesting how 100 millimeters makes that much difference. It's a big difference. I have the other one. I could go get it and bring it in here and show you the comparison. It's definitely this is a lot bigger. Yeah, Lyndon, that's pretty clever design there. And this is the only RC plane I know of. Now, what I mean by that is a kit you can buy. I know somebody makes those landing gear for giant scale planes, because I saw a giant scale Wildcat at a show once, and the gear looked exactly like this, but much bigger, and it was all aluminum. But it went up and down just like this. Although he could slow it down, it didn't snap up. It went up pretty quick, but it didn't snap up like this does. And so I was pretty impressed with that, because I'd never seen that before. So besides that guy's giant scale Wildcat, this is the only other Wildcat I know of with working retracts, and they work correctly. So it's pretty cool. So it's a very unique airplane. $269, guys. That's it. Plug and play. $269. Retracts. All the control surfaces. Folding wings. Of course, they're not. They're mechanical, but they're still folding wings. And for $269, yeah, that's a pretty good deal. All it needs is lights. If it had lights on it, it'd be perfect. The only reason I'm not going to put lights on it is because getting the light wire down through the folding mechanism is a lot of work, and I don't think I want lights on it bad enough to do that. I might change my mind later, but right now I'm thinking no, I don't want to do that. So, but we'll see. You never know. I could change my mind. So. So what else is going on? Kenny Rogers, what's up? How you doing, man? $30-mile-per-hour epoxy? Did I say that? Did I say 30 mile an hour? I thought I said 30-minute epoxy. Or you're just talking about my radio is going to say it wrong. Yeah, my Tyrannus SE would say it wrong. Yeah. No, you don't have to. You don't even have to hit the button if you don't want to. Check 6. If you're but if you want to help me out, I'd appreciate it. It doesn't cost you anything. But I'm not going to twist your arm or nothing. If If it's too much to ask, then by all means, hit it twice. Wow. Which was it, the Park Zone one, Kenny? And how big a motor did you put in it? Listen, RJ at our field, he went through probably 6 of the Park Zone Wildcats. He absolutely loved that airplane, and he loved to make it go fast. So he had a huge motor in his. I don't remember if it was a 4-cell or 6-cell he was running in it, but he absolutely loved that airplane, and he constantly, made it go faster and faster. And he'd pull a hard Jeep, and the wings looked like they were going to clap. They were really pulling. The wings were just, but I never saw him fold the wings, but he was trying. And that thing was a screamer. So. Is this a candidate for the best fly? I'll let you know, Michael, after I fly it. I'll probably go fly it next week, and I should have the jet done by then. And hopefully I'll have a trailer by then, so I can get stuff out to the flying field. So yeah, if I go fly it next weekend, and it's the best flying plane ever, I'll let you know. 30-minute bratwurst fingers struck again. Okay, I'm not sure what the hell that means, but okay. What the hell is a 3648? Oh, the motor, 1200 kV, 4S. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It is a good plane to fly. It's a nice airplane. And with the gear, when the gear is up on this, it looks exactly like the Park Zone version because they have the simulated half wheel shells. On the fuselage. I actually grabbed those fake wheels out of the dumpster. Somebody crashed one, probably RJ, and they destroyed it. And I took the wheels off of it, the fake wheels that were in the fuselage. I don't know why. I figured I might put them on a Catalina or something because the Catalina uses a very similar looking, when the wheels go up on the Catalina, that's a very similar mechanism to this, but split, because they're on each side of the plane. And then that fake wheel is on the side of the Catalina. So, David, what's up? Good to see you, buddy. Because you're sure he'll be here shortly. Yeah, you're right. Fred will be here. Fred wouldn't miss my show. So anyway, that's the latest on this one, and we're making some progress on the jet. It's just it's taken longer than I anticipated for a couple of reasons. One reason is I'm working on the bed in the bedroom, and when Deb's home, I can't work on it because it's too hot out here to work on it. Oh my God, it's hot out here. So I'm limited to the 8 hours while she's at work to work on it. And there's just a lot of tedious work to do. So I used my hole saw to cut some they're probably about nickel size holes on each side of the fuselage. in between the 4 bolts that hold the nose cone to the fuselage. So I have pass-throughs for the wires, because the receiver is going to be in the front, and all the wires from the rest of the plane have to come up through those 2 holes. So so that's why I put the holes in it. There's a big hole in the middle, but routing all the wires into the center like that's going to be a pain in the ass. I like Chris and Rich both did it the same way. They put all the wires to the walls, the outside walls, taped them along the walls, put them through 2 holes in the plywood there, and ran them all through the holes that they added. And I'm doing it the same way. I'm not sure where I'm going. I know Chris has, I think, the Beck on the right side of the fuselage, and then the controller, for lack of a better word, and the brake controller on the left side. I think Rich has them all on the left side, if I remember right. I don't know, but same thing. They've moved them out to the walls outside of the fuselage and removed that board that's in the middle. If I put my big 6500 battery, which I don't think I have in here, it'll barely fit, and you have no room to move it around. So for like moving CG or whatever. And if I move that, if I get rid of that board they have in there, it'll give me probably an inch of play that I can push the battery back or move it forward, and then I can also adjust my CG by what size battery, because it uses a second battery for, well, it flies on 2 batteries, 2 6S batteries, but the radio equipment, all the electronics, are run on a 3-cell, and I can adjust the CG some by either putting a bigger 3-cell in the plane or a smaller one, or moving it forward and back as well. So there's a lot of adjustment to get the CG right. So I'll be playing with that too. But anyway, so that's where we're at. Hey, there's Randy. What's up? Oh, is that right? It's only a 1.0. I thought it was an 1100. Okay, so it's a 1.0. So it's 200 millimeters smaller. Yeah, yeah. I have one too, Randy. I bought it as swap meet. I was out at the flying field a different day at the Imperial. They had 2 different pilots die, not at the same time, and their wishes were to donate all their RC stuff to the club, let the club auction it off, and then whatever money they made off of it, the club would keep for, improvements, cutting the grass, whatever, porta potties, that kind of stuff. So I was able to get a couple airplanes from both of our departed friends out at the field. So that's where I got my Wildcat, I believe. My Park Zone Wildcat, which is the version 2. I think it was sold the second time under the E-Flite banner, I believe, when they brought it back. And then they let it go. This would continue again. I don't know why. It's a very popular airplane. Most of you guys have one. Either have or had one, And since really this is the only other Wildcat available, nobody else makes a Wildcat. And I can tell you most of the reason why is because of landing gear. They just, LX is the only one that decided to just tackle that crazy ass mechanical landing gear that's in this airplane. Nobody else wants to touch that. So, to my knowledge, nobody else makes a foam plug and play Wildcat. I believe this is the only one. Had to get some mint chip ice cream. Okay, Wild Bill. That's funny. All right, so what else is new and exciting? Who's heard what? You guys want to talk about remote ID at all? I'll let that happen on my show if you want to talk about it. I don't know much. I just heard or saw in Ryan's show, somebody said that there's one available now for $300. Holy crap! And then I saw somebody else said there's one for it was supposed to be $30, but I think it's $50. I don't know. I'm not buying one, so I don't care. They can charge $1,000 for it. I don't care. I ain't buying one. Yeah, the Wildcat fly's good. I never flew mine yet, but I used to fly there were 3 guys at the field that had Wildcats. I used to fly theirs. It's a good flying airplane, And oh, we got $42 now. Yeah, do I hear 43? 43 going once, going twice. Yeah, it was a good flying airplane in it. If you just like the P-47, remember the old Park Zone P-47 that was re-released as an E-Flight? It came with a clear plastic belly pan you could put on it if you wanted to belly land it. And with the gear up, the P-47 lands just like the Wildcat. They've got that big belly underneath them, and it's perfect for landing without the gear. I would do that a lot with mine. The original one I never had gear on it, so I always landed that one. But the new one, after it lands so good on the belly. A lot of times I would just put the gear up and land it on the belly, because it does it so well, and that plastic shield protects it from getting scuffed up. So why the hell not? Well, if wind conditions were not favorable for a wheel landing, yeah, just suck the gear up and belly land it. Is that right, Robert? The Wildcat's your all-time favorite airplane? Yeah. Well, you should get one of these. They're still available. Hell, I think you can get the ARF version of it for even less money if you don't want to fly it. If you just want to, have it to display it, you can get the ARF version if you want. They have it in an ARF, a plug and play, and a ready to fly. If you want this color in the receiver ready or plug and play version, you have to go to the discontinued airplanes on Banana Hobbies, which is kind of goofy, but that's how they're doing it. That's where I found this. So that's why I was able to get it, because I went to the discontinued airplanes. So when you say it's loose, is it, it's a balsa kit? What is the glue coming undone on the balsa? It's starting to get kind of flimsy, like it's, coming unglued? Is that what you mean by loose? Yeah, it's too bad the real one wasn't that fast. If they'd have put the bigger motor in the Wildcat and kept that design, I think they really had something. But they decided to build the Hellcat instead. They've got them for $129. That's the ARF version, right? For $129. Oh, no kidding. Yeah, too many hard landings, huh? How many were built by General Motors? That's a good question. I have no idea. I'm sure some of those documentaries tell that story. I haven't watched. I've watched the Corsair one 100 times and the Mustang one 100 times, but I haven't watched. I've watched the Wildcat one, but not as much. I need to, now that I have this, I need to watch more Hellcat or Wildcat documentaries, and then I'll know what the answer to that question. Right now, I don't know the answer. Oh, there you go. Robert knows the answer. 7,852 were built by GM. How high will it go? 399 feet, not an inch higher. It shuts itself off as soon as it gets that height. That's it. Roy, what's up? How you doing, man? Yeah, how come history class never taught us any of this cool history? You know, the crap I remember from history class sucked. It was the stupidest crap, boring, boring, boring. I love history now, and not just airplane history. You know, how many of you guys watched the movie National Treasure? I mean, there was a lot of history in that movie that was really cool. You know, and you know, I love that movie. It was a great movie. Great movie. A lot of history in it. You know, it's you know, history was so boring in high school. Good God, I hated history. But now I love it. I watch so many documentaries on all kinds of history. The submarines. You know, the first one was the Turtle, and then the Hunley. Car history, airplane history, just the country history. I watch a lot of history shit, you know, because they tell it so much better than my school teacher did. The remote ID only has a battery long enough for 2 hours. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, I've watched that one a bunch too. There's actually several P-47 history. Um, I slept through class. I probably did too. Yeah, that's why I love YouTube too. I love the fact that we can go watch all this stuff on demand anytime you want. It's awesome. Oh, okay. All right. Well, what is Kenny talking about for 2 hours? I I got laid from history class. Yeah, all right. That might be a story you want to share, Roy. We don't like to hear that story. I don't know how that, from your history teacher. I mean, I don't. Yeah, David, that's a good question. I'm thinking the big goose egg. I don't think Kenny's buying any of them. Yep, light lits. I'm right with you. Yeah, they can stick their remote ID in their ass. Yep, that's exactly how I feel about it. Yeah, if that's where you're flying, Kenny, yeah, you might want to have one. You might want to have the FAA license too, just in case. But I'm only going to be flying at AMA fields or private fields, so I'm not worried about it. Hey, if you buy 3, you get free shipping. Okay, so Kenny found one that's 129 bucks and it has its own internal battery. That's interesting, but it only lasts 2 hours on a charge. Oh, so it wasn't the teacher, it was a girl across the room from you. Wow. You guys both got into history that much, or you guys both were that bored with history? That you left class to go get laid. AMA field not available in your area. Yeah, that can happen. Yeah. Yeah, that's another one too. Our FRIAs. Nobody knows if we're going to get them or what. I don't think my guy's going to try for one because it's his property. I think he's under the impression that go fuck yourself. It's my property. I'll do what I want with it. Um, yeah, my history teacher was a dude also. Yeah, reminds you of Randy Travis. Yeah, start a club, Kenny Rogers. There you go. Yeah, start your own club. Well, from what I understand, aren't the manufacturers of the planes they're going to be required to include the remote ID in every plane that they sell? Is what my understanding was. Is that not true, or because I thought that was by a certain date they had to, they can't sell the airplane without the remote ID. Is what I was under the impression of. Yeah, 1 out of 4,000 have been approved. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. Yeah, they're really being dicks about this. Oh yeah, Ronnie, I have absolutely no hesitation to fly my jet with my Radio Master radio. Absolutely, I'll be running a Free Sky receiver. Yeah, have absolutely no adverse feelings about that at all. That's exactly the radio. I wouldn't fly it on a Spectrum radio. There's no way I'd put a Spectrum radio in that plane. And just an observation, guys. You know, Pilot Ryan and Rich Baker, RC Informer, are both influencers for Spectrum and stuff. But anytime they get a nice airplane, a big airplane, they always put Futaba equipment in it. Both of them. I never see either one of them fly anything big, expensive with their Spectrum radios. They always put their Futaba in it. So what does that tell you? Yeah. So just an observation, you know. But yeah, I have no problem with my Radio Master radio. I will absolutely fly my jet with it. Oh, is that right? Birmingham's your close. How far away are you from Birmingham? So, Jerry, are you still in here? That's not true, Michael. He has used his Futaba. He hasn't flown anything but a bind and fly in years. That's why he hasn't used his Futaba. Because everything he's been flying lately is all bind and fly from Horizon. If he like the jet I have, he wouldn't fly that on his Horizon radio. He would definitely put his Futaba radio in it. I guarantee it. He's just been promoting all the Horizon stuff, so they're giving him free airplanes and a free radio, so he's going to use it. But I guarantee he wouldn't fly that jet with that radio. He'd put his Futaba in it. Ready to Fly is the only one that'll be required to have the built-in. Oh, really? Is that right? Oh, that's interesting to know. Okay. Two hours to the field, yeah. That's not too bad. Oh, is Paul Ballard here? I missed it. What's up, Paul? Or are we talking about somebody? Paul McNeil's here. How you doing, Paul? Is Paul Ballard here? Mate, Paul McNeil, did you get a new job? Okay, Reitza, I'll shut up then. You obviously know more than I do about all this stuff. So, what's your favorite radio? Yeah, me too, Kenny. I'll fly anything on my Radio Master radio and a Free Sky receiver. Oh, are you doing Fly Sky receivers with yours? Yeah, I use the Free Sky, but it'll fly Sky, so that's cool too. Oops. You start a new job at 7 a.m. Oh, yeah? All right. Well, fill us in, man. What did you get? What are you going to be doing? You're going to be running a wood mill that cuts 38-inch logs. Is that right? The reason I fly um, the free sky receivers is because of the telemetry. You know, the receivers are relatively cheap, $30 or less, um, and they have the telemetry, so I can monitor my battery voltages while I'm flying. So that's why I use that receiver. It's a very reliable receiver. You can fine tune it with the radio, and I have no problems with it. So you don't have any free sky receivers at all, Kenny? Really? Oh, wow. Yeah, that's how I took it. Was 38-inch diameter. Yeah. So is this inside a big mill, Paul, or is this one of those semi-portable mills that you lay on the ground and then you lay the log on it, and then the saw makes passes over it to cut it into whatever size you want the wood to be? I've been thinking about getting one of those for my to use my own wood that I'm cutting out of my property here, because I have over 150 trees. You know, I need to get rid of a lot of them. I'm thinking instead of just burning them, I could start cutting them into logs, you know, or into 2x4s to use for whatever. Michael Bear, what's up? Good to see you, buddy. You just landed the UMX Timber so you could come be in the shit show. I think the Free Sky does too, Kenny. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Kenny. Once you set one of your planes up with the telemetry in it, you'll never stop using it. It's awesome. Oh, I didn't know that. Is the Fly Sky has telemetry in it too? I didn't know that. I'll have to look into that. I didn't know Fly Sky had telemetry. Oh, of course, Wild, but an airline pilot is definitely going to have remote ID on his stuff, on his foam board creations. Hey, what those? I'll bet a lot of his planes are under the 250 gram limit, so he doesn't need remote ID. You're a 10 channel guy. What do you need 10 channels for? So you are going to have a portable. I've been thinking about buying one of those, Paul. I'm seriously thinking about. I've looked at several of them now. I'm thinking about getting one. I really am. It'd just be nice to be able to, when I'm cutting down these trees, to use them. Cut wood. I got to cut it up anyway. It's either cut it up or burn it. If I cut it up into usable wood, why not? That's the way I'm looking at it. It's not that big of an investment. So you're getting a backup remote ID system. Got wood. What's up, Steve? How you doing? Hello, Denise. Big Jim, what's up? How you doing, man? Good to see you. Robert says it does. Which receiver, Robert, does Fly Sky have telemetry on? Do you know offhand? Too much paper tape and hot glue, huh? Can't keep it under the 250 gram limit. I just started looking up just this week, actually, what's available in sub 250 gram quadcopters, drones. Fred, there you are. Somebody already said hi to you earlier because they knew you'd be here. Oh, I know. It was David said it. David already said hi because he knew you'd be here. Yeah, so I started looking up, the sub 250 gram quadcopters, drones, for lack of a better word. Just so I'd have something I could legally fly around, and I don't have to do shit with it. If I want to go to a park or a parking lot or whatever, I don't have to have a remote ID. I don't have to have an FAA. I don't, you know, if it's sub 250, you don't need nothing. So, is that right? So the F6F and the F8F from Flightline are the scale size to this. That's interesting to know. How much is that receiver, Robert? Do you know offhand? Well, I already have some whoops, Wild Bill. Yeah. Um, the one they're bigger than whoops. The ones I'm looking at. Um, yeah, I have whoops. I have the little. I bought 8 of the gates, the whoop gates. There's one of the guys I fly with. He was on our show one night. Uh, Jeff Dixon. I used to go over his house and we would race around his house. He had all these gates set up and we'd fly from the living room through the kitchen, through the dining room, back through the bedroom, out on the pool deck, and back around into the living room. It was a blast. So I used to go over there and we would fly tiny whoops over there, race them around his house. That was a lot of fun. So yeah, I plan on when I get this situated in here, I'm going to have a tiny whoop course inside the garage here. So we'll be able to have tiny whoop races right inside the garage. Wow, it's only $18. Oh, I got to look into those. Wow. Thank you, Robert. I'm impressed with that. I definitely have to look that up. Yeah, the whole telemetry thing is what sold me on FreeSky 10 years ago. I've been flying telemetry for 10 years now, and that's exactly why I did telemetry or went with FreeSky is because of the telemetry. Nobody else back then, anyway, I don't think offered it. That's really interesting. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, the UMX Timbers. I have 2 of those. So I won't be, if I'm flying into those somewhere, I won't go to jail. Yeah, that's okay. Robert, what radio are you using those receivers with? What transmitter do you fly? They put a sub 250 in a box of cereal. That's funny. Yeah, there you go, Ken. Do the exact opposite of what the government says you'll be fine. Yeah, there you go, Jim. Yeah, you can sit in the house in the air conditioning and go fishing with your with your giant quadcopter. Is that pond already stocked with fish, or are you going to have to do it? Yeah, the things I use mostly is just battery voltage and RSSI signal strength. Other than that, I don't really use the telemetry. I mean, I do on a couple planes. My glider, I use the Vario, um, and I've played with some of the other stuff, but those are my main two. All my planes have RSSI signal strength and battery voltage. Everything I fly does. Well, just about everything I fly does. There's a couple of exceptions, but I pretty much um, don't fly without it. Yeah, that's not useful. Beck voltage doesn't mean anything. That doesn't help at all. Yeah, I don't need to know what the Beck voltage is. Oops. Okay, I'm going to click on this video. I'll save that for later. Yes, Fred, I've been looking at those too. I've actually been looking at those. I haven't decided how much money I want to spend yet, but I'm definitely looking at both of those. Yep. What's the difference between a pickpocket and a peeping Tom? I can't wait to hear this one. Oh, that's going to be funny. You're now ELRS. I don't know what that is. A 4-meter wildcat? John, what are we talking about here? Really? Damn, that's huge. Oh, God. All right, Big Jim. Here we go. John Graham, what's up? Good to see you, man. Yep, Kenny, it's same thing here. You know, the only radio I ever had signal issues with was with my Spectrum stuff. So, go figure. Oh, I got you, John Graham. Oh, God. Oh, you want to see the wing fold? All right, I can do that. Close the hatch. Well, I left it open, Fred, because I knew somebody was going to want to see the gear work, or so I figured I'd, instead of taking it on and off all night long, I just leave it off, and that way I can. I wonder if this one's easier to move. Let's see if this one's easier. Yeah, that one's much easier. All right. Okay, so just like the real one, John, it's mechanical. It's not electric. So you unlatch it, and then it just folds back like that. Is that cool or what? I fucking love that. That's just the coolest thing ever, I think. Yeah. How many airplanes do that? So, yeah, that's, and when it's sitting on its wheels, it does the exact same thing the real one does. It gets that halfway, and it just pendulums right there, and that, until the flight crew on the deck either pin it to this position or pin it back. But yeah, that's it. That's how it works. It's awesome. I love it. Where are the wires to hold the wing up? What wires? What are you talking about? Your balsa one did that on his first flight. The wing folded back like this. Yeah. Oh, that didn't end well. Holy shit. Yeah, that's pretty slick. I really like that. That's a really cool feature. I don't. How often am I gonna show that off? But it's just cool that it does it. Oh, I assumed that it had a pin mechanism like it does to lock it down, that would lock it back. I didn't. I don't know. Oh, so they use a wire to hold it back like this. Okay. Is it just like a portable wire that um, stays on the deck after the plane takes off, and they just hook the two together, one to the other, to hold them back? Because I could make something to do that. That'd be pretty easy to do. Oh, so there was a fitting on the wing and the tail. Well, what part of the tail? This doesn't reach the tail. How would they... Huh. I put a clapper on my Spectrum. I got you. Yep, I get what you're saying. Yep. Yeah, I could make something that could do that. And I might, honestly. I probably won't make it. I don't know. I'll have to see. Because if I do fold the wings and put it in the car, because as easy as this is to lock and unlock the wings, it'd be a shame to take up spot in the rack that some other airplane could sit in when this one could fold up and go in the front seat of the car easy. So yeah, it's a something to think about. Yeah, maybe I'll come up with some kind of a mechanism, cable, bungee cord, something that I could keep the wings back for transport. Oh, Big Jim's putting a link up. What did he put up? Oh, nice picture. Oh, yeah, that's a good picture. That shows it right there. Perfect. Yeah, look at that. Yeah. And I'm assuming those turnbuckles stay on the carrier deck. They don't slide into the wing and go with the airplane, right? They just stay with the deck, or what? How did that work? Yeah, a hair bungee would work maybe. Yep, yep. I was told that they were going to take care of it, Shadow. I've called the adjuster and left them messages, and he hasn't called me back. So we'll get on that again tomorrow. The trailer place is just down the road from me, has the trailer I want in stock. It's their best seller. They have a whole bunch of them in stock. And yeah, if they just will cut me a check, I can go get my trailer. So right, John. They would take them off, but they wouldn't. There's not like a stash place on the airplane that they put them in. Kind of like the ladder on several of the planes where the ladder folds up into the wing or into the fuselage or whatever. These don't stay with the plane, right? They just, they're kept on the deck. They don't have a cubby hole or a hiding spot or something on the plane. Okay, gotcha. So you got a storage locker to keep the wing things in. So obviously when they fold the wings down and lock them in place, one of the air handlers on the deck grabs them and takes them, sets them to the side until they're done launching all the planes, or takes them immediately down to the storage locker, whatever they do. So yeah, that's cool. That's a good picture though. That really shows exactly how that goes. That's pretty cool. And there's that propeller. You guys were asking me, what did I do to my propeller? There it is, right there. It looks exactly like mine. It's that goofy ass. The blades are out past you know, the root. So they show up in that picture. Yeah, the plane captain has to hump that shit all over the boat. Yeah. So you served on a carrier, John? What carrier did you serve on? Yeah, I know, Shadow. Yeah, you had to hand crank that bitch down. I know. Yeah, every time Kermit flies his, he talks about that. Wow, you served on all of those carriers? Holy shit! Wow. How long were you in, John? And absolutely, I'll second that, Robert. Thank you for your service, John. Thank you. You too, Shadow. I know I don't say that near enough, but thank you guys, all you servicemen. Thank you. I mean that. So 24 years, huh? Wow. Yeah, yeah. Kermit talks about it when he flies his Wildcat, about cranking up the gear. And then some of the, like a DC-3 has a backup system for cranking up the gear if the electrics or the hydraulics fail. I think the gear's electric on that plane. Come to think of it, I don't think it's hydraulic. I think it's electric. I could be wrong, but yeah, there's a handle to hand crank that up too. Yeah, I remember you saying that, John. Which base are you working out of? Where you're teaching them how to paint, corrosion protection and paint. Well, the B-17, the handle was stowed, wasn't it? You had to take the handle off the wall and put it on the mechanism and crank it. Isn't that where a B-17 had? Yeah, 24 years of horny bitches in every port. course, Roy, you would be the one to say that. Keith Christie, what's up? Norfolk, no kidding. So how strict is security there? Can I get a day pass? Can I come up there one day and you can take me around? Is that possible? Is that done anymore? Do they do that anymore? Okay, so Blitz RC Works is Banana Hobby's their own name for products they sell. I have an FMS plane when Banana Hobbies used to sell FMS planes, and it says right on the instruction manual, FMS Blitz RC Works. So it just depends on what airplane it is, who the manufacturer was, but it's a generic name that Banana used to use for all of their aircraft. Anything that they sold under the name Blitz RC Works, but it was really manufactured by somebody else. And whether it, you can't use the word Blitz RC Works as a gauge of whether it's any good or not. Because my FMS planes are awesome, and they used to sell that under the Blitz RC Works. I might have that. Oh, I know exactly where that manual is. I could go get that manual. It's on actually, and Steve left, I think, already, but it's the plane I bought from Killer Planes. Came from Banana Hobbies originally. And Steve got it, and then I bought it from Steve. And the instruction manual says FMS and then Blitz RC Works right on the FMS manual. So. Well, I was thinking you'd be my escort if I could get on there. What? What, Jim? What the? What? No, I can't say I ever have. How much do the escorts cost? Oh, you and Roy. Come on. You're just looking at the 1100 P40. Oh, actually, I think that's made by. Oh God, who's making those planes? I think they're being made by the company that makes the Arrows planes, I believe. Rich Baker can answer that question because he does a lot of those planes for Banana. He says they're pretty good. He likes those planes. Yeah, escorts like at the villages. Yeah, no, there's no escorts at the villages. It's all free. Come on up. Doesn't cost a thing to go to the villages. If you go home alone that night, you weren't trying very hard. Yeah, chicks should get X90s. Yeah. Yeah, if you come up to the villages, Michael, make sure you bring the X90. Yeah. That's a panty dropper for sure. Oh, you can build way more than 4 of them from scratch for what these planes cost for sure. Yeah, yeah. The same plane. Me and Randy both bought the same Cessna 182 from. It's sold under the name as FMS also, but it's actually made by HSD. HSD makes the plane for everybody. It's sold under so many damn names. But yeah, it's the exact same airplane that FMS sells for a lot less money. A lot less money. Oh, you out of here, Michael? All right, Mr. Bird. You have a good night. See ya. The last two X90s you looked at belong to lesbians. Well, you're not gonna get laid there then. Yeah, it's what you go home with after the village experience is what costs you. Yeah, free STDs. Yeah, it's the treatment that's going to cost you, not the STD. That's free. Oh, no kidding. Really, Kenny? You spend that much money on your foam board planes? Wow. You're a serious diehard. I wouldn't be spending that kind of money on foam board airplanes. You leave your escorts off base? Yeah, there you go. I gotcha. So the initial investment's 150. The second plane's only $5. Oh, is Big Jim out of here? And dudettes. I used to date a girl, and that's exactly how she liked me to call her dudette. That's funny. That's good, John. Man, God bless you. I'm so glad that worked out for you. That's awesome. Now, Evan's the one building the X-wing, Michael, not Kenny. Sounds good, John. I will definitely take you up on that. If I get up that way, I'll contact you first. Make sure you're going to be there. You don't have vacation time or something, but we'll coordinate something because I would love to come up there for that. I've always wanted to go up there, so I will definitely contact you for that. Do you want me to see? Okay. I was waiting for somebody to ask. All right, I'll cycle the retracts for you guys. That's why I left this open. I knew somebody would want to see it. I'm assuming. Yeah, it works. I hadn't tried the throttle yet. So, yeah, it works. Okay. All right. So here's how the retracts work, guys. It's kind of tricky to hold it. It's a little because my fingers are in the way of where the retracts go. So, okay. All right. I think that'll work. Let me, yeah. Whoop, 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 whoop. It's trying to fall off. I don't want it to fall down. Yeah. Yeah, no, I haven't calibrated the throttle yet. I just finished it last night. Well, technically, it's still not finished, but what I'm going to do is I still have to pin the wings on. I don't want to. in case I have to replace a wing or something, I don't want to glue these into the fuselage, because if I do, then there's no way to get them out. I'll have to buy a fuselage and wings, and so I'm just going to pin them. They're in there really tight, so they're not going to fall out. I'm just going to take 2 barbecue skewers under each and drive them straight up through the bottom, and they'll go through the bottom of the fuselage, through the wing, and then up into the top of the fuselage. And 2 of those on each side are going to be more than enough to keep the wing on. And then if I ever have to replace them, all I got to do is pull those 2 pins out, slide the wing out, and slide a new one in. So I'm purposely not gonna. I mean, they're on there tight. They're not, they're not going to just fall out of there. But I'm going to pin them in to make sure they stay in there. I just don't want to glue them in, because if I glue them in, there's no way I'm ever getting them out of there. Even if I use contact cement, I'd never get them back out without destroying the wing or the fuselage or both. So yeah, I'm just going to pin them. They'll be fine. Yeah, I kind of wish that too. I don't think it's going to be a problem, but yeah, I kind of don't like the idea that the way they relax after they retract. It's kind of because they're sitting up there nice and tight, and when they relax, even the gear doors, the little doors on the inside there kind of fall down, so it doesn't look nice, tight and tidy as it did until once it relaxes. So yeah. I was trying to adjust that. I thought maybe if I slowed them down, I tried slowing them down, and that didn't work. And I kind of knew that wasn't going to work, but I tried it anyway. And then I tried lowering the throw from less than 100%, and see if that would soften them when they went up, so they didn't try to bounce out. And that really didn't help either. So it might have helped a little bit, but yeah. It just, there's really nothing you can do with those. Hey, I'm just happy they work, Yeah, the Seahawk is a Mike model with a rescue hoist bolted to it. Yeah, Kenny, it is. It's just, like I said, I'm just happy they work. I mean, because nobody else makes a Wildcat with working landing gear. I know somebody makes the gear for a giant scale airplane, but you're talking about thousands of dollars for a big, a giant scale airplane, and then to put that gear in it. So, yeah, this is the only plane I know of. The only Wildcat I know of that has working landing gear and working wings, which I don't know of any. I'm not even sure. I imagine that giant scale plane I saw had working wings as well, but I didn't see them work. I saw the gear work, but I never saw them fold the wings. So I don't know if they worked or not. Yeah, Fred, I agree. Yeah, you can't slow them down, and they don't hold, but they're still awesome. The fact that they work. I hope they're going to be grass strong enough to handle the grass. As a matter of fact, this plane would be perfect for belly landing. I might set this up to be a belly lander. Take off on the gear, suck it up, and then land it on the belly. maybe in the tall grass, or I don't know. We'll have to fly it and see. I'll have to, because I want to take as much stress off the landing gear as I can, because I don't want it to break, and I'm not sure that it'll survive a grass field. At least not my grass field. It's kind of bumpy, and I don't mean bumpy like, it's just because there's a lot of bare spots. There's grass, and then there's sand, and then there's grass, and then there's sand, and so every time the tire transitions from grass to sand and grass is a bump, and that's hard on the gear. It keeps pulling the gear. So your B2 gear does that? God, I don't remember my B2 gear doing that. It's been a while, but I don't remember my B2 doing that. Could you put shims to tighten the gear? I don't think so, because that's not really the issue, John. The issue is the design of what might work. Maybe is some springs, because the way it works, and this is an LX thing, they like to run. They don't have pots that tell you where it is in relationship to where the stick position is. Even their landing gear is, the motor runs until it stops, and then you have to use their servo or their sequencer, and the sequencer reads a back load, a load. When the motor stops running, it loads it. It reads the load and shuts itself off. So it runs it until it hits the load. Same thing with the gear. The gear goes up on this one, and it loads it. And as soon as the load goes away, because it's pulling it into the plane so hard, that once the load it shuts off because it got a load, it relaxes, and then it kind of falls back out of the plane. So the only way to really keep it up in there would be to put a spring on it. There's a spring already on it for the struts that hold it locked are over center struts. So they fold in like this, but when they go out, then they go the other way, and that's what keeps the gear locked. And there's a spring on this. So I don't know if maybe putting a tighter spring on that would help, or just another spring, but it would probably need to be a spring to make it stay up after the motors relax. It wouldn't be a shimming kind of thing. If gravity wasn't on, if the plane was inverted, they probably would stay, even when they relax, they'd stay in, because gravity would be pulling them into the airplane if it was inverted. But they're trying to fall back out of the airplane when the motor relaxes. So it's just it's just the way it works. Like I said, it's probably not the greatest design, but at least it works. I mean, nobody else makes an airplane with retracts like that you can buy, out of the box. Nobody makes that. So Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, right, Kenny, you're right. Yeah, that's what you should do, Shadow. Get an ultralight and tell them to go fuck themselves. Yeah, okay. They can't ground you then. Yeah, anybody can fly one of those, and you don't even need a remote ID. You don't need an FAA license. You don't need a remote ID. You don't need nothing. You can go fly that all day long. Well, it goes over, kind of goes over cam when it goes down because it has to go over center to lock. That's what locks it. There's nothing locking it up. Once it's up, I mean, I can show you what I'm talking about. It's so this is the over center right here. This strut right here. All I got to do is push the strut in a little bit. Okay, now it's unlocked, and now I can make the gear go up, and then it tries to fall back out because there's nothing that holds it in. There's no locking mechanism to hold it in. And I'm afraid it's probably going to do that one of those numbers while I'm flying around. But there's no lock in. But when you put it down and it goes, now it's locked. You know, it's locked in now. It won't go up. You gotta push the override cam in, and then it goes back up. And there it is, and it relaxes because that's not. See, it's tight like that when it goes up, and then it relaxes. Okay, but it's not locked because I can just pull it right back out. So it's just the design of it. I think, I mean, it works exactly like the real gear as far as the mechanism, but I'm sure they have a better way of locking it up that they didn't bother to put on the model. So, John, really, there was no. You didn't have a set time frame when you were working on the carrier. You're just if they were doing an op, you just had to go work. They just call you out there and it's time to go to work, no matter what time it is. Do you guys punch a clock? I mean, do you get overtime when you're working 24 hours? You know, are you on the clock all the time, and how does that work exactly? I have no idea. So 12 on and 12 off. Okay. Unless something was down. Do you just get straight pay for 12 hours? Or is anything over 40 hours overtime? How does that work? And that's 12 on, 12 off, 7 days a week, right? I mean, you don't get weekends off. I got you. So it's kind of a salary position. You're going to get X amount of dollars for the year, no matter how much you work. I didn't know, Shadow. I had no idea. I had no idea. Never talked to anybody about, even my friends in the military. We've never talked about, how they were paid hourly, punch a clock, whatever. I never had no idea. No idea. It's the first time we've ever brought that subject up. So yeah, I didn't know. I know if they want you to stay in, they give you a big bonus. Yeah, you're right. I am asking them questions. I just never asked that question before. There's a lot of questions I've asked before, but I've never asked that one. I didn't know. I know you're teasing me, Shadow. That's all you ever do to me. Now, were the weekends automatically your off time, John, or was it a rotating thing? You work. I mean, how did they do that? Did you automatically get Saturday and Sunday off, or were certain people get Saturday and Sundays off, and others would get Monday and Tuesday off? Flight schedule. Okay. So whatever they were scheduled to fly is when you worked. So you didn't know when your days were going to be off. I'm sure you did once they put the schedule up. Until then, you didn't know. Okay, cool. It's not gay if it's underway. Yeah. Yeah, hang out in case something breaks. I don't think Shadow served on a boat. He was land based. Pretty sure. Yeah. Exactly. 160 go down, 79 couples come up. Yeah. Yeah, butt plugs all around. I don't think they're still hot bunking now, are they? The new subs, everybody has their own bunk, don't they? I know back in the beginning there wasn't enough room, but these new subs are huge. So I don't think they're hot bunking anymore. I don't know, I could be wrong. Ask Reitza, I'm wrong about everything. So they're still hot bunking, huh? Wow. I thought the Virginia and Ohio class boats were probably big enough not to have to do that. Yeah, that's true. God, I don't know why they put such a long ass damn wire on this son of a bitch. It's a pain in the ass to get it in the damn airplane. It just doesn't want to feed in there. Yeah. Yeah, we all know Marshall's not right in the head.
You have to be crazy to be on a ship that's made to sink. I never thought of it that way, but then, yeah, that's kind of true. Prop and spinner are out of stock. On which plane? This one? You just ordered another plug-and-play LX F4F. Mainly prop and spinner. Without that spinner, you kind of... Is that right, Fred? You just bought another one of these? Did you break your prop? Is that why you haven't been flying yours? I just cannot get that wire to go in there. Oh, God, I can't stand there that long. It hurts. You need to put a damn rubber band in there to pull these wires back into the fuselage. Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, it might be a long time before we see another, parts for this plane. Yeah, some of these planes are just not supported with parts very well. Ron, the aircraft carrier I was on sunk. Really, Ron? Oh, on purpose, or like they retired it and sunk it, or you're in battle? So did you buy another blue one, Fred, or did you get a yellow and silver this time?
Was it the Oriskany? Ron? No shit. You know, I have two A1 Sky Raiders, and the livery on them is from the Oriskany. I have a 1600 millimeter one and a 800 millimeter one. Both have the exact same scheme on them, and they're from the Oriskany. Yeah, Roy's dad served on the Oriskany too. Roy, did you ever interview your dad? You need to do an interview with him. Get this on tape before it's too late. He's a man of few words. Prod him. You know, poke him with a stick. Hey, wake up, Dad. Answer this question. Yeah, they call it The Last Gunfighter because the F4 didn't have a gun, but after that, they put guns back on them. They realized that was a bad idea. Christ, even the Raptor has a gun now. That's how wrong they were about that. Yeah, I like watching the documentaries on the carrier stuff, the F8. Yeah, I saw that on a documentary where the starter cart was parked too close to the airplane, and while that motor was exhaust heated the motor of the rocket. I saw a documentary on So anybody know what happened to the guy that parked that cart that close to the other rocket, that other airplane? I mean, I imagine somebody got in trouble for that. So Ron, were there any A1 Sky Raiders on the Oriskany when you were serving on it, or were they already gone? Ugh. Yeah, John, I just didn't know what capacity they were used at that point. Were they still putting them on the carriers, or were they, ground force planes at that point? I didn't know. Wasn't sure. I know they kept the planes for a long time. I just didn't know if they were still carrier based. Right. Yeah.
Which plane were you looking to get, Kenny? Yeah, because the F8 was pretty big, wasn't it? That, even with the wings folded, that was a pretty big bird. At least it looks like it. You know, I've never seen one in person. Yeah, me too. I want the Husky too. They didn't have either Husky, the 4S or the 6S. They're both out of stock. All right, Shadow. I'm surprised you stayed this long. It's good to see you in here, man. I'm glad you stuck around. Have a good night, man. We'll talk to you later. Thank you, John. Hey, man, it's good seeing you here. We're gonna have to hook up soon. Not like next month, but within the next year.
not what I'm looking for. That's okay, Ron.
it was implied. Hi.
Hey, Kenny, the 4S Husky is in stock. That's the one I want. And the Marlin's in stock. They got a few airplanes. Yeah, I want the 4S version. I don't need the 6S version. They are out of a lot of airplanes, though. You're right. Oh, they've got the Edge 540s in stock. I love that paint scheme. I'm gonna get that. I already have two of those, but they're in the Red Bull scheme. I like that orange and gray scheme. I'm gonna get that one. Got some gliders are in stock. Yeah, the next sale he has, I'm gonna get that Husky. Been wanting that plane for a while.
Uh-oh. Wild Bill's giving us something to watch. What do we got here, Wild Bill? Oh, it looks like Evan flew the... no shit. The X-Wing. Oh, God. Oh, I didn't realize the fuselage was a profile. Why did he do that? Why the hell didn't he make it a box? I didn't realize he was going to make that a profile. All right, we got to see it fly. Here we go. Come on, send it. Oh, God. Well, that didn't work. All right, take two. Let's see. No, still didn't work. Oh, God. I think the CG's way off. You need some weight in the nose. That was closer. Oh, I think that one did it in. It folded in half that time. Oh, now he's got... Oh, I like that. He propped the nose up with a prop. That's clever. That's not a bad splint. Guys, you got to watch that video. That's funny. That's hilarious. Okay, here goes take 3 or 4. I forget what we're on now. I think this is 4. Well, it didn't land on the nose that time, so... Oh, yeah, now you just snapped the nose completely off. We're going to try the short bus X-Wing. Yeah, that's definitely something that's going to need a flight controller in it. I'm sure. It's not an airfoil that's designed to fly. Oh, that almost worked. That was close. That almost worked. Thank you, Bill. That's funny. That was good. I'm glad you put that up. Oh my God, that was funny. It gets better. Yeah, he's close. He was making progress. Yeah, we'll see what Evan does next and try to get that flying. It looks like he was close, though. That's funny. All right, guys, I got to go to the bathroom, and I don't feel like coming back out. I'm going to call it. Thanks for coming, everybody. Glad you're here. Ron, it's good seeing you again. You know, everybody take care. If you haven't hit the like button, hit it on the way out. And we'll catch you guys all tomorrow night in Fred's fly-on. The fly-in, the fly-on, fly-over, whatever. We'll see you guys all tomorrow night in Fred's show. And we'll catch you guys later. All right? Have a good night, guys. Talk to you later.